Good morning, everyone. I'm Mats Nordlund from Netrounds. Together with me, it's Jonas Krugell, our technical product manager. We are super excited to be here in Santa Clara this early morning to talk to you about automated active network assurance. I will spend the first 10 minutes roughly to explain Netrounds as a company, but also Netrounds as a solution. And then Jonas will take it from there to walk you through a couple of use cases and spend most of the time with 3 exciting live demos. So that will keep you awake, although it's early this morning. So with that said, let's get started. So I'm Mats from Netrounds. I will explain to you what Netrounds is and why we were founded. So Netrounds is a global software company headquartered in Sweden. So we target service providers and large global enterprises. And we help them to do it right first time and do it right all the time when it comes to networking and network connectivity. So we provide a software-based solution, fully programmable, that actively verifies that services that have been configured, that they work and that they continue to work during their lifetimes. So we do this by taking the role as a programmable end user or a virtual test client. We insert programmable traffic from layer 1 to layer 7, and we do this on the data plane. Netrounds is one single piece of software that covers the full life cycle, from the service activation testing phase to the real-time quality monitoring phase, as well as advanced troubleshooting. We have customers in all parts of the world, and they use Netrounds for a wide variety of use cases, from service chains, multi-cloud environments, and we have a big presence in business VPNs as well, but also in digital transport and voice and media transport networks. Plus, in the mobile and wireless space, we are also present both in the wireless side as well as in the mobile backhaul side. Today, we'll focus mostly on the first 2 areas, where we will show you how you can gain a new level of visibility into service chains and multi-cloud environment. And I think this is something that you haven't seen in the past. But before we rush ahead, let me take you 10 years back in time when my co-founder Marcus Freeman and myself, and we created Netrounds. We worked at the Telia, the incumbent operator in the Nordics at then, and we wanted to help service providers and enterprises to quality assure their networks in a much more cost-efficient way by using software instead of hardware. So during our previous careers as R&D engineers, both at Ericsson and Telia in Sweden, we identified that there was a gap in the marketplace where software could be used for telco-grade, high-performance, highly accurate testing of performance in live networks. We couldn't really take the lab equipment that we had at that time and bring it out in the in the live networks. So we took on the challenge to develop software that could run on standard hardware, and we wanted to offer it as software as a solution as well. So we did that, and let me take you through the first 10 years in 1 minute or less. So we launched early in 2008 already, and we had as a key design requirement to combine flexible testing and monitoring in the same platform. And this is still a key differentiator on the market. Many of our competitors focus on either testing or monitoring, whereas we do this in a single platform, and we can cover the whole life cycle. Already in 2009, we launched IPTV capabilities because it was a big thing then, and we started to evaluate EC2 as a hosting platform for our server-side code. And in 2011, we migrated to Amazon with our SaaS solution, so we have been in the cloud much longer than most of our industry competitors. In 2015, we co-developed a concept called orchestrated assurance together with Cisco. And that was the first time we also introduced our virtual version of Netrounds. So by the way, you can Google orchestrated assurance, and I think the first page will be full of links to either Cisco or Netrounds that explains what orchestrated assurance is all about. I won't go through it here. The collaboration with Cisco then led to Cisco starting to resell us in 2017. They brought us to their global price list. And we also introduced support for Docker. And we also took our cloud deployment on-prem because we saw a pull from especially service providers to be able to leverage on-prem as an alternative deployment method. Now in 2019, we see a strong pull from our customers in the areas of multi-cloud, service chains, and also 5G and network slicing. And this is the area where we will spend most of the time when we do the demos. But throughout the years, our main target has been to make customers happy. Customers like all of us here, we expect services to be available 24/7 so we can do whatever we hope to do. But the thing is that happy customer is not really what every customer is not happy out there. Surveys show that almost 40% of customers detect problems before the ops teams do. And one of the underlying reasons, there are many of course, one of the underlying reasons is there is too much focus on the infrastructure health rather than focusing on what matters for customer. That's the data plane. So at Netrounds, we focus on data plane, and we take the role of having active test agents deployed on the data plane so that we can segment and understand where issues occur on the data path, from the branch to the transport connecting to the cloud, as well inside the clouds. So the whole end-to-end chain is where Netrounds can be deployed and gain visibility, from the wireless segment and wired segments, of course, but also in the SD-WAN edges where service chains reside. So there could be service chain issues with performance related, and there could be misconfigurations of, just giving examples here, whitelist or blacklists in the firewall that you can't really discover by just capturing syslogs and SNMP counters. And then, of course, the combination of underlying networks connecting to the clouds is a source of congestion, misconfiguration, or traditional routing issues that can cause frustration for customers. And we have also focusing a lot of gaining visibility into intra-data center connectivity, as well as north, south, and east-west traffic. And this is where we will show how we gain visibility later in the demo.
Just for some context,
sure.
What is an agent?
Coming up with Jonas, an agent is software, pure software running as a Docker container or as a VM or a VNF.
Thanks.
Good question. And I will move over to how the product works from an overview perspective. So again, I'm Mats from Netrounds. We'll give you a quick overview of Netrounds as a product. And before rushing into the details, I would like to explain how Netrounds is positioned in the assurance landscape, because assurance is a wide topic. Netrounds acts on the data plane. We provide active testing and monitoring. We answer questions like, what's the maximum throughput? Is the QoS policies implemented correctly? Are the schedulers working as expected? Can you reach specific TCP, UDP ports, to give you concrete examples? This is different from the gray boxes on the left-hand side, which is more the classical assurance solutions, which have been designed for completely different purposes, answering questions like, which devices are faulty, which links are overutilized, and what's the mix of traffic flowing on my network. And the further you go to the right, the closer you get also to what matters for the end users. And in order to make customers happy, we believe that measuring what matters is of importance, measuring the data plane. So we have developed a very comprehensive toolbox that we will showcase later. It goes from layer 1 all the way to layer 7 with various building blocks. And this is fully programmable. So you program, depending on your use case, you mix these tools to combine and match the KPIs that you want to capture, depending on use cases. So let me just give you a high-level overview what we provide. So when it comes to network performance, we have implemented most of the relevant industry standards out there, from the MEF, ITU, and IETF. We support topologies from point-to-point, hub-and-spoke, and fully meshed topologies, where we insert our test agents in all these scenarios. And we have support for UDP, stateful TCP. We have implemented RFC 6349, for instance, for stateful TCP measurements, which we will demonstrate later. And we also support the built-in reflector capabilities in, for instance, Cisco IP-SLA, such as Y1739 and TWAMP, two-way active measurement protocol. Then moving on to video, we have a full IPTV MPEG decoder that decodes the transport headers, as well as an over-the-top HTTP live streaming decoder to measure video quality in the network. When it comes to voice, we use a full SIP stack to measure SIP signaling and SIP transport performance, as well as we can insert synthetic voice as well to measure the capacity, measure the performance of voice. Then when it comes to traditional internet performance measurements, DNS, HTTP, of course, as well as speed testing through standard browsers. And of course, ping solutions for ICMP, UDP, and path traces. So altogether, it's a very comprehensive toolbox, as you will see later in the demo, which you will combine programmatically and drive it through REST APIs or netconfig APIs. So altogether, the toolbox is used to deliver three main outcomes. First of all, you will be able to test configurations. Every time you touch the network, you can automatically not only configure the network, but you can ask Netrounds to validate that the service works without any problems on the data plane. You will get a comprehensive test report for every time you touch. Think of CI/CD or DevOps. But the same test agents and the same solution can be used for real-time monitoring of that specific service. Not the network as a whole, but the specific services that you have touched or configured. So you have a real-time dashboard capability, and we have also SLA reporting and alarming. And that can also be tied to advanced troubleshooting. We can build sequences that will automate your otherwise manual steps to troubleshoot and narrow down where problems are in the network. That can be automated and built through our UI, as Jonas